What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Confusion. It should have been 100% defendable, according to estimations.
Those words unwittingly got out. They weren't necessary to say. One of the most unlikely things in the world was Raphael making excuses. There should never be justifications for a simple ability, yet nobody noticed. It was too late to adequately analyze this because the battle was already well underway. Raphael was still being reprimanded by Rimuru.
Stop playing around. Veldora has Faust, which includes the skill control probability, right? Real bad news.
Raphael then recalled. Rimuru was entirely correct. Why did it overlook something so crucial? Raphael just realized that something was seriously wrong with him at that point because it was so weird. It reasoned that something had to be interfering with it, but it couldn't pinpoint what. It considered whether to inform Rimuru for a moment. It found it very difficult to just tell him that it didn't know the cause because of its pride. However, there was a good chance that Rimuru might sustain harm if it didn't. After some additional calculations, it decided that telling him was the wisest course of action. However, having Rimuru branded as incompetent would be equivalent to losing Raphael as its only reason for existing. Even conceiving of any of this was a betrayal of its lord. It should never have been possible for a skill to wane in this way. But despite everything, Rimuru's words kept coming to the confused Raphael.
Veldora is an irrational combatant. He is outperforming even your excellent calculations, which is not at all strange. Do not become upset just because you committed a small error. He is so erratic, so stop worrying about it. Simply have faith in yourself. I'll take care of Veldora. You take care of Velgrynd.
Rimuru spoke to Raphael as if he believed it was best to keep it informed. He was treating Raphael, which was just a skill, like a real companion.
All right, there are two of them, but there are also two of us because of you and me. If you can restrain Velgrynd, I can free Veldora in the interim. You must therefore wait, okay? Whatever it requires. I rely on you, buddy.
That was sufficient to calm Raphael's troubled, empty heart.
Is he counting on me? Even after I was mistaken?
Even though Raphael was prone to error, Rimuru continued to have faith in him.
Even though I'm just a computational tool, he still needs me.
Its fear had already subsided. The Lord of Wisdom answered with its usual confidence.
Acknowledge. I comprehend. Moving on to the subject's interception, Velgrynd.
It was true. Rimuru, the master Raphael so adored, wasn't so dim that he'd get upset over something as hazy as probabilities. It only had to relax, have faith in him, and carry on as usual.
By the way,
Rimuru added amiably.
I haven't really addressed you by a proper name before. Yes, there's Raphael, but that's a skill name. It doesn't actually count. I'll probably use this chance to give you one right away.
This was beyond Raphael's comprehension. It was filled with an odd emotion that included confusion, joy, and an outburst of emotion. It was so perplexed by the unfathomable uncertainty that had grown within of him that it was unable to conceal it.
What was he referring to?
Although it was perplexing, Raphael also recognized what he was trying to do.
He obviously cares about me because I wasn't performing up to par.
When Veldora was abducted, Rimuru must have been more distraught than everyone else. But he could still be respectful of others even now. Rimuru was exactly like that.
All right, how about Ciel? Ciel, get it? You have knowledge as vast as the open sky. I'm not sure if you'll like it at first, but please be patient. If you have an issue with it, take it out on that red guy.
As though trying to cover his humiliation, Rimuru said hurriedly. A sense of fulfillment that no skill was supposed to feel was felt by Raphael or Ciel.
I'm now in eternal happiness.
That was genuinely its thought. The beginning of evolution then occurred. The greatest ability Raphael, Lord of Wisdom, was reincarnated as Manas Ciel at that very moment.
My name is Ciel. A skill and a manas, or theosophical core, were combined. Alongside Sir Rimuru's soul, I am here to offer assistance. I look forward to working with you.
There was nothing to worry about now, Ciel reasoned. They were supposed to be in the middle of a serious crisis right now, but nothing appeared to be at risk.
Oh, wonderful. Same here, I suppose?
Ciel felt joy the moment it heard Rimuru's voice for the first time.
All right, now go demonstrate some of your power to them.
And the finest of rewards for Ciel was an order from Rimuru.
As directed by you, my lord.
In Ciel, the Lord of Wisdom had come to life. And as per Rimuru's wishes, its strength would blossom into an ever clearer focus. Rimuru gave the order for Ciel, formerly Raphael, to act in order to stop Velgrynd. Ural's absolute defense effectively parried her burning breath. The dragon was silenced by the effect. She wasn't playing around with Rimuru at all. She enhanced her breath even more using Regule, Lord of Relief, such that no simple barrier could ever have stopped it. It had to have an impact on her adversary unless he was so superior that he could see straight through it from beginning to end. Rimuru, though, exhibited no signs of weariness. Even the three demonesses were unable to avoid damage from a strike from Velgrynd while she was in dragon mode. Rimuru did so without even blinking, proving that he was one demon lord you couldn't play games with. Even though it was extremely upsetting, Velgrynd kept his composure. She thought she had the upper hand in terms of magicules, albeit possibly the caliber of her abilities fell short of his. Or perhaps the demon lord Rimuru had a natural defense against heat strikes. She made the decision to act rather than continue to worry about it. She constructed a group of somewhat split bodies, just as she had done with Veldora, and used them to fire 11 light rays simultaneously from her nuclear cannon attack. The 11 rays also launched another round of burning breath at the same time. This 22-part, multi-stage heat attack reached temperatures high enough to quickly evaporate an asteroid. Rimuru must have been immune to heat if he managed to survive this. She found it a little difficult to accept the outcomes. The heat beams were aimed at Rimuru at convergent angles to prevent any escape, but they were all deflected by the shield of light he conjured.
Oh, dear. He blocked it with the barest of movements, as though he had anticipated that perfectly.
Velgrynd has grown tired of this. She was furious that Rimuru was immune to heat, but even worse, she felt like the attack just now was a complete waste of time. Her massive advantage in magicules would have made her win unassailable if it had even slightly sapped Rimuru of his energy, but at the moment, he was using virtually no energy at all. Velgrynd understood that if she continued in this direction, she might end up depleting herself first. The moment has come to take things seriously, but there was still another nasty act going on. At the beginning of this, Rimuru had given Velgrynd a quick glance, but after that, he made no further effort to do so. He was almost completely ignoring his sister, concentrating only on Veldora. He was also dodging all of Veldora's attacks rather than using any kind of shield against him. He would only counterattack with a comparable strike if evasion was impossible. But, with Velgrynd, the barrier of light was all he needed to block everything. Yes, he could use magic sense to monitor everything around him, but he was still obviously oblivious to her. It was almost as if he was telling Velgrynd that she wasn't a threat. More than anything else, that made her angry.
I'm going to make him feel bad about looking down on me.
Therefore, the self-assured Velgrynd made the decision to launch her most potent strike. As Rimuru continued to ignore her, Velgrynd cast a sneering gaze at him before summoning her powerful magic energy and channeling it through her body. Ragwell's assistance and the acceleration represented by her own heat might be utilized simultaneously to force her to heat up, or increase her performance. As a result, Velgrynd was able to travel at the world's fastest physical speed, thousands of times faster than the speed of sound. What transpires then when someone other than herself is the target of this power? Velgrynd can handle this newly discovered performance with ease because she is a spiritual life form with resistance to physical harm, but could anyone else? No, is the response. No physical body, regardless of the type of life it is, can withstand constant forceful acceleration. The same is true of spiritual ones. Even fleeting thoughts produce energy, which eventually causes thermal collapse. This was specifically created for that purpose.
Get ready for your body to decay away until there is no more flesh to be found. Cardinal acceleration.
It was her most potent move yet, even more potent than Burning Embrace. Velgrynd's ultimate power and authority were contained in cardinal acceleration. In preparation for the major battle they will face in the future, she made it covertly for Velzard. She wouldn't usually spend it on a simple demon lord, but she was in too much a rage to care. A wave of dread swept toward Rimuru as the Crimson Dragon roared. This final stroke represented the flame dragon's pride at her strongest, capable of instantly collapsing all matter. Any enemy may be buried by it because of its incredibly fast speed. It would be too late by the time Rimuru noticed what was happening because he was too busy concentrating on Veldora. Before he stopped existing in this reality, his mind was unable to process what had just happened quickly enough.
But he won't have time for that right now, will he? I hope I could make him regret underestimating me. The only regret I have is that.
Velgrynd looked forward with complete assurance, curious to see how it turned out. Instead, she gaped as she noticed an unhurt Rimuru standing there.
No, it's not possible.
She was unsure about her own eyes. There was no way someone could have survived such a fatal hit, impossible to dodge, without even a scratch. At least in Velgrynd's opinion, even the demon lord Guy Crimson, even her sister Velzard the Ice Dragon, could have been slain by it.
You're not hurt, are you? That is not feasible. My cardinal acceleration is effective against all barriers and defensive techniques. What did you even do if you took it that casually?
It was obvious that Velgrynd was losing her composure. No barrier could ever have stopped the onslaught, even if he had somehow cancelled it out. It was too much to bear to face the reality of it all. Her poise was severely compromised.
Huh.
Rimuru answered.
Well, it was a close call, but since it was done on the spot, it was pretty easy to eat up, ya know?
In reality, Ciel, who was still focused on managing Velgrynd, did all of this work. The plan was perfectly executed. Velgrynd was being made to attack Rimuru by Rimuru's aid. Ciel prioritized Rimuru over everything else, following instructions without interfering, and that was sufficient to stop Velgrynd. It conducted an analysis and assessment of the dragon's nature, made a decision on an appropriate reaction, and implemented it. This was evident in the shield of light Rimuru had been wielding, which had a unique impact on Velgrynd's abilities. All of Rimuru's ultimate skills were under the power of Ciel, the whole of all its integrated skills. Belzebuth, Lord of Gluttony, was one of those ultimates. Ciel had just used its predation skill to immediately seize Velgrynd's cardinal acceleration and its isolate skill to trap and expel the assault into complex space, an advanced form of Rimuru's stomach. Without a doubt, Rimuru could have been destroyed by that strike. It couldn't be defended against with usual ways, and even Raphael's processing prowess couldn't handle it. Ciel wasn't Raphael, though. It had changed from being merely a skill to becoming the Lord of Wisdom's presence in a separate dimension. Furthermore, it didn't matter how the adversary attacked as long as Ciel could identify the type of attack, as it had just demonstrated by using Belzebuth. After calling isolate, all that was left to do was absorb the energy in complex space. When applied in this way, Belzebuth's complex space ability becomes a defense as potent as Uriel, Lord of Vow's absolute defense. The shock on Velgrynd's face was understandable. After all, nothing had happened until Rimuru himself had barely had time to utter the words, "Oh, crap, I'm in trouble." Even yet, Rimuru defiantly answered Velgrynd's surprise since he didn't want her to realize that he had really done very little. Ciel's plan, however, didn't finish there. It was able to speak with Rimuru more easily than ever before, and it was even able to employ the art of speech as a means of pursuing Velgrynd.
Hey anime fans! Episode 14 is now on Anime Fans Narrations. Don't miss Jinho's hilarious misunderstanding involving Jinwoo and Han Song-yi. Watch now and join the fun.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Jay Magsino, Recreal17, Bismarck Munoz, Arian Booker, Jerry Sladek, Kamal Luke, Izat, Mr. Santo, Akshay Divate, Alfonso Smith. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.